this is real, and that both of these are real. The group constantly getting caught on live feeds with men in the background of models, harnesses on the International Space Station, and bubbles and scuba gear on spacewalks, whose name in Hebrew can mean to lift up like a rocket to space, or to beguile like the serpent beguiled Eve in the garden. And wouldn't you know it, the NASA logo has a nice big serpent tongue in it, or as the Hebrew word lashon describes, a fork of flame. Not to mention that NASA's Genesis doesn't begin with God, but rather with a group of Nazis, Freemasons, and magicians that name most of their missions after false demigods. Now, back to the Hebrew concept of the world in which we live. Here's a bird's eye view over the North Pole of the most widely accepted flat Earth map, which also happens to be the flag of the United Nations. You can see how circumnavigation would still be possible from east to west and west to east, and here are the routes of people who claim to have circumnavigated it north to south. You can see how Antarctica is no longer a continent at the bottom of the globe, but rather a continental ice shelf that holds the waters in place. And just like you can't fall off a lake, you can't fall off the flat Earth because of the Antarctic shoreline. Utilizing the fact that it is the tallest landmass by average elevation, it bounds the waters just as described in Job 26:10 and Proverbs 30:4. We see here through the use of high-powered ground-based lenses and infrared technology that ships do not sail over the curve, and that land masses that should be thousands of feet below the horizon suddenly become visible. We see on dry days when the sun doesn't get magnified during sunset that it is not setting due to the earth spinning, but rather by retreating beyond our ability to see, similar to a ship on the horizon due to perspective. So if things like sunrise, sunset, circumnavigation, and not falling off the edge have similarly simple explanations, it's rational to think that your other questions also have simple explanations. After all, people were existing just fine and predicting celestial phenomena accurately for thousands of years before they were told they were on a spinning ball. And just because something appears to correlate to living on a spinning ball does not mean that it's caused by it. Just like when I go eat lunch at noon, my action of eating correlates to the clock striking noon, but the clock did not cause me to go eat. So I invite you to dig deeper into any of these topics and any others that may surface. This video is not meant to be an all-inclusive masterpiece, but rather a sign pointing to a door that needs to be opened. For me, the biggest evidence is not the lack of curvature, or clips of NASA getting caught faking space, or the fact that all